Hi, this is Nancy with OnPoint-TV, and I've decided to talk a little bit about my favorite tools. I get comments and emails all the time about people asking me, well, why do you use that tool instead of that tool? And so I do reply to all of those. So if you want to go and check out all those comments that I've replied to, you would know why. I thought it might be easier, though, if we just did a video. So we're going to start with Nancy's favorite quilting rulers. My favorite quilting rulers are Omnigrid. I got to tell you, I work in this industry and I've used all the other rulers. All the other rulers do work. I'm not saying that they don't work. I'm just saying that for me, the Omnigrids, they have it. They have everything that I need. So these happen to be my 5 favorite rulers, and I'm going to tell you why. The first one is this smaller one. This is a 4 by 14. This is the one that comes with me everywhere I go. When I go to a class, this is the ruler I take. I rarely will take any of my bigger square rulers just because they'll get a little corner taken off of them and they're kind of expensive. So speaking of that, my little 15-inch has a corner taken off of it. Now you know. So this is the 4 by 14. This is my favorite one to take to class. What I love about the Omnigrid is that you can see through all of the measurements on dark and light fabric. So on the dark, it has the yellow marks. On the light, it has the dark marks. Yet that's all in one ruler. The other thing that I love about the Omnigrid is, and I don't know if you can see it, but there is a little gap right there in that line. It is not a solid line. I don't want a solid line. I want to know where my fabric is on that line. Is it before it, after it, in between it, where it's at? So that's another thing I love about the Omnigrid. I love the little dots that designate the 1/4 inch. That just helps me with my measuring. And the thing I love best is the angles. On the Omnigrid long rulers, they all have the 60-degree, the 45-degree, and the 30-degree angles, all right here on the bottom, going in both directions. Not many of the other rulers have that. So those are the features about an Omnigrid that I like. I love my 4 by 14 for taking to classes. For doing much of the quilting, I love this 8.5 by 24. Now this happens to be the Omni Grip ruler. It has just a little bit of a grip here on the bottom. And that's okay, because I don't want my rulers to grip. If you're having trouble cutting, I can give you other tips about lowering your cutting surface, how you hold your ruler and how you hold your cutter. But for me, I want my ruler to be able to move when I want my ruler to move. So I do not want a grip on the end. The Omni Grip has just the slightest little bit of it, not enough to ever make me not like it anymore. Now, if you want it to grip, there is a product called Invisa Grip. Again, this is from Omnigrid, and what it is a sticky back vinyl for all intents and purposes. If you'll take that and cut that into 2-inch strips, you can put that on the back of your rulers where you want there to be no slip. Then there are the square rulers. I love my little 9-inch guy for when I'm having to do things like square up or fussy cut, 6-inch maybe, designs, things like that. I love that on the Omnigrid, there's the diagonal that goes right up the middle here on the diagonal, which is what you're going to use when you're trimming down half square triangles and things like that. So I love my 9.5 inch. I think that it can do almost everything it needs to do for the beginner to start with their quilting. So that would be my recommendation because it's less expensive than some of the others. The 12-inch is probably my workhorse. I work with this 12-inch quite a bit, and I'm going to show you why. When you look at some of my previous videos where I show you how I fold my fabric is always folded. So this is a 44-inch wide piece of fabric, and it's folded twice. This is how my fabric is stored. When I take it out of my cupboard to start cutting, you see that my 12-inch ruler covers the distance of that 11-inch folded fabric. And with the 12-inch, I can do quite a bit of my power cutting. Want to know more about that? Go to some of the beginning videos on our channel. And then the last one is the 15. What I like about the 15 is it's big. It's big, but not too big. I do have a big 22-inch also, but you realize you can't take it out of your studio for fear of it getting broken because it was a quite expensive ruler, whereas the 15 is just the right size. So I have it for when I'm doing larger blocks and I want to be doing the wonky coping strips, things like that. Keep in mind, I know my corner is busted and I need to get a new one. So I hope that you like this. These are my favorite rulers, all of them from Omnigrid.